News 7, your 24-hour news source. Mike Hambrick, Susan King, Jeff Gilbert weather, Rennie Knott sports. This is News 7 at 11.
Fairfax County Police tonight are using this sketch on hunting down the gunman who killed 2 people and wounded 3 others today outside the CIA building in Langley. Good evening, I'm Susan King.
And I'm Mike Hambrick. Today's shooting spree rocked the entire Washington area, but especially the quiet section that surrounds the CIA building. The shootings took place on Route 123 while victims sat at a red light. News 7's Gary Neuenberg is live in Fairfax County with the latest on the investigation this evening. Gary, what can you tell us?
Mike, mass shootings outside the CIA? It sounds like something out of a Tom Clancy novel where CIA hero Jack Ryan comes to the rescue. But the bloodshed this morning was not fictional, and there was no hero to save the people who died. Who did it? Police don't know. Why he did it? Police don't know. Tonight, there have been no arrests. About all that's new is a better idea of what he looks like.
You're as good as your witnesses. They seemed to know what they were looking for in the drawing. They were comfortable with it, satisfied.
As the investigation passed the half-day mark, witnesses to the shooting helped Fairfax police artist Rick Sexton come up with this composite sketch of the suspect. He is described as a white male with dark complexion, between 20 and 30 years of age, 5'8" to 5'10", 145 to 165 pounds, medium build, dark brown or black hair of medium length. Last seen, he was wearing a tan jacket and dark-colored pants. Witnesses say he began shooting just before 8 in the morning at the height of rush hour at the main entrance to the CIA. Larry Bright was a passenger on a bus only 10 feet away.
They was going to work, and he was hitting them as they was going in. Pow, pow, pow. He was just shooting. He was shooting at everything in sight. My man was, I don't know, he was upset about something.
2 CIA employees were killed as they sat in their cars waiting for a traffic light to change. Dr. Lansing Bennett, 66, of Reston, and 28-year-old Frank Darling of Reston. 2 other CIA employees and a CIA contractor were wounded. 2 of them remain hospitalized. Nearly 4 dozen Fairfax police continue to work on the case, checking specific names that fall in 3 categories.
We're looking at disgruntled employees. People who have a grudge against the CIA would be the first people we're looking at. Officials there have provided us with some names that we're looking at. We're looking at citizens who we are aware of in the area who are unstable. We're looking at people who may have access to high-powered automatic-type weapons.
Criminal investigations in this area.
Police have installed new phone lines and are asking witnesses to please call if they have any information. The Criminal Investigations Bureau is 703-246-7800, or that new special tip line, 703-591-9991. As you watch this, police across the Washington area are knocking on doors, checking those lists of suspects in 3 categories. We're only 5 or 6 hours from another rush hour. Police want to get this guy arrested before that happens, and frankly tonight, they are not optimistic.
Gary, right quickly, through the day there was some confusion, but there is only one suspect that authorities are looking for tonight, correct?
That's correct. Early in the day, they were looking for a white van that very rapidly drove out of the area. Several witnesses said, we think that might be the guy. It turns out that the driver of that white van was shepherding a carload of CIA employees into the CIA. When the gunfire started, they very quickly got out of there. That rapid exit drew the attention of witnesses to the van and really led to some confusion. But now they're looking for the other car, the dark station wagon.
Gary Neuenberg, live in Fairfax County. Thank you, Gary.
Well, our team coverage of today's shooting continues with the update on the victims. 1 of the 5 was treated and released. 2 do remain hospitalized in serious and critical condition, and of course 2 were killed. As News 7's Sam Ford shows us, this tragedy has captured the heart and the conscience of Fairfax County.
There was a newscast, and I saw his blue Saab, and I recognized the license number.
Inga Bennett, on how she learned her husband, 66-year-old Dr. Lansing Bennett, a CIA employee, was one of the victims. She said they'd recently come back from 2 years in Brazil, where because of street crime, they'd feared for their lives.
I kissed the ground the day we returned to the United States, you know, thinking that we would be at least much safer here. And I think we are safer, but it's so sad because obviously people are not completely safe here, and everybody should use extreme caution.
Also killed was 28-year-old Frank Darling, also of Reston. A 60-year-old Vienna man is hospitalized in serious condition, a 60-year-old Oakton man in critical. After Fairfax Hospital called for O-negative blood to help the wounded, donors began pouring in from Franconia and Springfield, Falls Church, even Bethesda, Maryland. They were waiting up to 2 hours to give blood and thinking about the victims.
I don't know, I was just thinking if one of them had a gun, maybe 4 of them would still be going home this evening.
There were so many walk-ins tonight that around 7, the donor center began turning people away. And frankly, some people left rather angry, saying they'd driven long distances to get here. But the center asks that you make an appointment because the blood is needed. In Fairfax County, I'm Sam Ford.
Well, the Fairfax Hospital blood normally receives about 50 donations a day, but because of the concern over the shootings, 4 times that many were received today before the center stopped taking donations for the night.
An ironic twist to this tragedy today worth mentioning. Graffiti similar to this on the sidewalk in front of Channel 5 TV was found in other locations in the D.C. area. There are references to the CIA, the FBI, the last names of police officers, and certain dates and descriptions. Similar CIA graffiti was painted at Channel 9 TV and in the streets near where today's tragic shooting occurred. But police have not made any official link between the graffiti and the shooting.
Well, it appears that 2 bedrock campaign promises have made it to the top of President Bill Clinton's agenda for his first 100 days in office. Within days, he is expected to take steps to end the 50-year ban on gays in the military. That's true despite the opposition from the military as well as Congress. The other involves health care. Clinton today named his wife Hillary to chair the White House task force on health care reform. He said he was grateful that she had accepted because she could share some of the heat he expects the issue to generate and because she's the woman for the job.
I think that in the coming months, the American people will learn, as the people of our state did, that we have a first lady of many talents, but who most of all can bring people together around complex and difficult issues to hammer out consensus and get things done.
Well, the president says he wants a health care plan to send to Congress by the end of his administration's first 100 days.
Jeff Gilbert is here now with a quick check on our environment.
And it is a cold and crisp winter's eve. We have 32 degrees right now out at National Airport. And as you can see on our map, or graphic rather, we're the warm spot. 27 up at Dulles and 31 at BWI. Skies are clear tonight. It's going to be very chilly. And also, we're keeping our eye on a coastal storm, which could affect our weather later on in the week.
Coastal storm. We'll watch that.
Stay with us now for more on News 7 at 11. Tuberculosis testing of the homeless continues here in the district. We'll have an update.
Also, more bad news for the residents of Spring Valley, where that munitions dump has been found. We'll tell you about that when we continue in a moment.
In 1590, Galileo hypothesized that all objects fall at the same rate. But then, he never considered the depreciation rate of luxury automobiles. The Lexus LS400 has retained more of its value than any other car in the luxury class. Cash in at your Washington area Lexus dealer today.
He can hit a target, range me at 1,000 yards. Beckett is the best. And disappear into the shadows.
This assignment was supposed to be a piece of cake.
But in this game, when you miss a target, you become one.
It's a suicide mission. They're all suicide missions.
Sniper, rated R.
Starts Friday at a theater near you.
It's the way we make you feel that makes people fly British Airways, the world's favorite airline.
This is our latest concept car. Of course, before we could sell it to the general public, we'd have to tone down its 214 horsepower engine and replace its specially tuned performance suspension. So when do we plan on making these changes? We don't. Introducing Eagle Vision TSI, definitely not intended for the general public.
See your National Capital Area Jeep and Eagle dealer, where you can expect the best.
President Clinton has ordered flags to fly at half-staff to mark the death of retired Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall. The 84-year-old justice died yesterday of heart failure, and he is being remembered for his lifetime of work championing civil rights. As legal director of the NAACP, Marshall argued 32 cases before the Supreme Court. He lost only 3. The nation's first black justice was appointed to the High Court by President Lyndon Johnson in 1967. And tonight, President Clinton ordered the flags to be flown half-staff at all federal buildings until Marshall's funeral Thursday at the National Cathedral.
Susan, also tonight, teams of healthcare workers are fanning out to homeless shelters in the district to test occupants for tuberculosis. It's the second phase of Mayor Kelly's TB screening program for the homeless. Earlier this month, you'll recall, healthcare workers tested hundreds of adult shelter residents for TB. Tonight, the teams are administering TB tests to those who live in the city's 28 family shelters. The plan calls for